Spice Girls and Spice Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be dyeing a wig. If you're new to my channel, make sure you please subscribe to my channel right now. Also, click the bell notification so you can get notified when I post a new video. So I went on all my social media platforms and I went on YouTube and I asked you guys to vote what you think my next video should be about. Majority of you guys voted to dye a wig, so that is what we're going to do today. So if you want to see what wig I dye and how this wig turns out, please continue watching the video. So here we have everything that we're going to be needing to dye this wig. So the wig that I have here is SM hair wig. I literally just did a review on this blonde wig on my channel, so you guys go ahead and check that out. This is 12 inches and it is human hair, and I decided that we're gonna dye her. So you guys voted on which color that I should dye my wig. So I went ahead with the color that everyone picked, which is a orange color, but it's more like a darkish orange. It's not really this orange, but this is the color that people voted on when I put it on my social media. So this is what I'm gonna go with. And I'm just using Via Natural. I never used this dye before, but I like the color that it was at the store. So hopefully it turns out to be this color. And I think these were like $3.99 maybe. I'm not sure. I don't think we'll need more than 2 bottles, but I have 2 bottles just in case. Next, we're gonna need a bucket, a clear one or any type of bucket that you wanna use, or bowl. I prefer a clear one so I can see what color the dye is turning when I use my water. Next, I have some disposable gloves. You can get these from the dollar store or any local store that's around you, just so you won't get your hands all colored. Then I have a wig brush, any wig brush. Next, I have a whisk that you can use. You can get this from Dollar Tree, and this is just to help the water and the dye get mixed together. Then I have my blow dryer here to help dry my hair. Of course, I have the flat irons I'm going to be using as well. And of course, our host Tiffany is here. So we're going to be using her to put our wig on once we are done. And whatever kind of pins you got to put your wig on. I don't have any wig pins, so I just use tacks. And I just have like a regular towel that I'll be using to kind of pat dry the hair. So the method that I'm going to be using is the watercolor method. This method is super duper popular right now on the internet. It is going crazy. People stop going to these hairdressers and getting their hair dyed for like $300 or whatever they was paying to get their hair dyed. They stopped doing the custom wigs. They stopped doing the aluminum foil and the brush method and the sitting under the dryer method. And someone figured out, I don't know who, but somebody figured out something that we've been needing for so many years, is to just use freaking hot water and dye. Oh my God, it helps so much. So I'm going to turn on my water and get it nice and hot. I'm going to fill my bucket up with some hot water here. I don't measure how much water I put in the bucket. I just literally put in there how much I think I need for the wig to be fully submerged in the water. So I'm just gonna stop the bucket and put that much in there. If you guys can see, kind of, sort of, it's not even halfway full. But I'm just gonna use that amount of water for right now. If I need more, I'll add more later. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on my gloves. Okay, so this is super easy. I am going to go ahead and take the top off of the dye, and you guys can kind of see what kind of orange it is a little bit. And I'm just gonna pour that in there. Oh, that dye was really watery. Like it wasn't thick like Kiss dye is really thick. It wasn't thick. And I'm just gonna mix this in the water, making sure that I get all of the dye out of the container. And to make sure I do that, I'm just gonna put it in here, let some water get in there, shake it up real good, and boom. Okay. And I think that's mixed up good. Now, to make sure it's the color that I want before adding my other dye in there or any other additional dyes, I'm gonna do a strand test. So I'm just gonna take a piece of hair here and I'm just gonna dip it in first to kind of see like what color like I'm at right now. So right now, I am at this kind of orange, which is kind of light to me, and I kind of want it a little bit darker. So I'm gonna go ahead and add some more dye in there. Okay, so that's the color we have here. So next I'm going to submerge my entire wig into the dye. The good thing about the watercoloring is that it doesn't dye the lace. That is the best part about it. It doesn't dye the lace. So that's pretty cool because we don't want to walk around with orange lace. I don't want to walk around with orange lace. So we'll let that sit in there for a second. I'm making sure that all of the hair is in here and able to get dyed. So there's no time frame on how long to keep this in there. It's not like, oh, let it sit overnight or anything like that. I mean, usually once the dye and the water is mixed together and as soon as the hair touches the dye, it pretty much dyes pretty fast. But I am gonna let it sit in here for like 5 minutes just to make sure that the dye is like really, really good on there before I wash her. Okay, so while that's sitting, I forgot to tell you guys to make sure you have a shampoo because I am going to be shampooing the hair once I am done. So we can take it out and see how she looks. So this is how she looks right now. And as I can see, it's a couple pieces that are not fully dyed. So I'm just gonna let it sit in there a little bit longer. I'm just gonna take my wig brush and just brush through the hair and just kind of look and see and make sure like majority or all of the strands did get dyed. So I kind of still see some blonde here. So I'm gonna let that sit in there a little bit longer.
A few minutes later.
Okay guys, so after the wig's been sitting in here for a little while and I made sure all the dye got on the hair, this is the color that it turned out to be, which is the color that I wanted it to be. It's like this kind of burnt orange. I am going to be taking her over to the sink and rinsing her out and showing you guys the finished look. Okay, so I have my wig and I'm just gonna pat her dry a little bit. So this is how the wig turned out to be. Next, I'm going to be placing her on my mannequin and blow drying her. So now I am going to be placing the wig on Tiffany so we can blow dry her. You know what this is giving me, y'all? Have y'all ever seen The Fifth Element with Lulu? Well, that was the character's name, but it was Bruce Willis and Chris Tucker. And the character's name on there was Lulu. She had this really pretty, bright orange hair. And that is exactly the vibe that I'm getting. So, look like the dye took all over. I am gonna blow dry her and brush it at the same time. So this is how the hair looks once it is completely blow dried. I actually love the texture of this hair. I mean, this literally feels just like your real hair. Well, it feels just like my real hair, and this is how my real hair would look if I blow dried it, because it's super, super thick like this. So actually, this is like almost the length of my real hair as well too. Like, my real hair is pretty long. But anyways, this is how the hair looks once it's blow dried. I am going to now flat iron her, and I'll be showing you guys how I do that, which is very simple. I just flat iron it. I'm just gonna take like half the hair and put it up. And I'm gonna start with just flat ironing the bottom first and working my way to the top. And I'm not parting it in a specific way. I'm just grabbing hair and putting it at the top. Okay guys, so this is how she looks once she is flat ironed and dyed. As you can see, this wig is very full, so I really do like that about the wig. So the color took very, very well, and the flat irons took very well. And yeah, this is just the finished look of the wig. So I am going to be trying her on and styling her, and I will be back on here to show you guys my finished look.